Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry about that. That was rather disgusting. Oh, sorry about that. That was rather disgusting. We're going to try to get that up and rolling again now that the thing is activated. Activate. Here we go. That should roll now. That should be music rolling again, guys. I didn't realize I couldn't do it when I was connected to other things, so we're going to go with that and see what we got. Be back in about 5 minutes. For whatever reason, I don't have the audio on this. Phasing. It's pretty cool echo, right? See if that started working now. That got us going, baby. That got us going. All right, see, troubleshooting 101. We'll get this rolling. We'll get the show on the road, baby. What's up? We're going to get this show on the road. Next thing I got to connect up is the camera. The camera is being a pain in the butt. The camera is not ready to go. We will get the camera ready to go in sparkle moments, guys. Camera disconnect. It's going to say, oh no, I don't know where the camera is. No. It's fine. I should get the camera rolling very quickly, very soon. Okay, I'm getting the camera connected to the other USB port. It was all set up for Legos, and I never changed it. I didn't realize I wasn't this far behind, and I had some snafus getting ready for tonight. And let's see what that does. Let's see if new main is recognized. Let's see if, guys, if it works. If it doesn't, I have to reset the camera. We got this going. No, it doesn't recognize it. Reset device. Logitech. Deactivate. Activate. Perfect. Now I just need to rotate it 180 degrees. View. Transform. 180 degrees. Pa! And we're set up, guys. How are you? How the heck are you? It's too hot in here. 2 ticks should get us where we're going. That only took 2.5 hours. I mean to say it didn't take nearly that long. That didn't take nearly that long. I need to get Photoshop started up, though. That's for a darn fact. Hi, guys. What is going on? It's been a week. I've learned how to do my job a little better. My manager, bless her heart, she doesn't know her job because she doesn't know my job. Meaning, she doesn't know how to do my job, so therefore she doesn't do her job well because she doesn't know how to instruct me properly because, bless her heart, she's never done my job. So in other words, she's not doing it from the standpoint of a person who's done the job. She's telling me from the standpoint of someone who doesn't know the job, trying to tell me how to do the job. Does that make sense? Those that do, those that don't coach, and she didn't, so she coaches. It's kind of that scenario. I'm not trying to hate on her, but the truth is she has never done my job, and therefore she doesn't know how to do my job. And therefore it leads to persnickety little issues where she doesn't know how to do my job because she's never done the job before. So, having said that, I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying this is how it is. She doesn't know how to do my job. She's never done it before. So, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Sweet. Sweet petite. Sweet petite. Cruella grid. I cleared off a bunch of space on my hard drive, so we got that going for me. And things are going quite well on that front. I've got a lot more space. Ace to do stuff. Anyway, it's been a kind of crappy day, honestly. Only good thing I'll say about it is Overwatch. I played some Overwatch before I came on tonight, guys, and I played competitive. And competitive is usually a hassle, a pull my hair out kind of moment. And I played in competitive, and guess what I did? I actually won one. I think I lost one, but I placed nearly gold in healer category. And you don't know the level of ecstatic I had when I placed almost gold. I thought I was like, watch me place 15, 19. I was like, heck yeah, bring it, let's go. Because I'm only a couple wins away from being put into gold in healer. And I thought for sure, because of the ineptitude of the teams I was playing on, I would not be anywhere near it. I had a Genji who thought that he was God's gift to Overwatch, and he made the entire process of us winning impossible, because he just kept insisting, I'm going to play Genji until everything collapses. And it's like, clearly, dude, your Genji is not helping. People, I think, sometimes when they're being the least contributing, they don't realize that they're not contributing. And they, therefore, don't switch because they don't realize their own ineptitude. They figure it's everybody else around them. If only my entire team would build around me, they would be successful, they say to themselves. And the truth is, it's not about that the team isn't helping you. It can be sometimes. But the thing is, 9 times out of 10, it winds up being a person who thinks that Overwatch was made so that they could play one character and everybody else in the team could support them. And did I help the Genji? No. Did I hurt the Genji? No. Did I try to get him out of a bind? Yes. The problem is, if he didn't complain so much about needing healing and actually killed their healers, we would have gone somewhere with life. But instead, he spent the whole game, I need healing. I need healing. I'm like, dude, I know you need healing, but the problem is you're drawing pointless damage and dying easily and feeding their enemies. And the other one that was a struggle was we had a hamster. I don't think this was in competitive, but he was being a bullet sponge. He was just taking so much damage. I'm like, dude, stop taking damage. You're just basically giving them enemy ult charge. So annoying. Hi, sis. How are you? I'm set up very trickily. How is everything? Is the sound okay? I had to literally just put this all together at the last minute. I forgot. Gotta stay as long as my buffet will be slow. Yeah, the buffet is really slow tonight. Rhoda didn't decide to make any meatballs, so the buffet winds up being really slow. Oh my gosh, that meme you sent me of, I don't know if it was Kim Kardashian or what, in that all black suit with the hood and saying, look at this one, killed Tasha Yarn, still living its best life. I about died. What was his name? Let me think if I can remember his name. All I can remember is him saying, I am the skin of evil. Like Wheezy. You know, like he was having trouble breathing. That always freaked me out as a kid. I'm like, why does he sound like he's like can't breathe? I always thought it was interesting, like his hate was choking him. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was always interesting. What was his name? Aramis. Aramis, I think was his name. And then I remember Captain Picard he's like, you'll get me off this planet. And Captain Picard's like, sure, I'll get you off this planet. And he's like, good. It's just you and me now. And Captain Picard's like, good. Now you're not leaving. What? And he's like, yeah, we'll stay here. Then I'll kill you. Good. Then I'll just be the two. Then I'll be here. Then I'll make you suffer. That'll be fine. Make me suffer. Then you'll still be alone. No. And then when his energy was low, they beamed him out of there and he just dies alone on a planet. Serves you right, you villainous black oil thing of just death. I always kind of thought it was evil. I don't think, like, as much as I say that character was super evil, think about the people that left him behind. Like, literally, according to that phone call that's never going to get answered. Hold on. 1 second. Rebuffering. That was Arlene. She's kind of way back home. She was out on a trip. Nothing weird, but not me. No. The thing was no, I know it's not you calling. The thing that I always thought was evil was that these people were just like, oh, let's take the quintessential bit of us being evil and just cast it off into a giant oil slick and put it in the middle of the planet. They literally just discarded their hate. Like, I'm like you literally, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It just always struck me as, who is the real villain here? This poor creature that didn't ask to be evil. It's their nature. Or this alien race who's got the technology to remove all their hate and just dumped it in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, I almost took pity on it because it's like, as an adult, I'm like, it didn't ask to be in existence. It was brought into existence by a bunch of selfish people that decide rather than better themselves, they just figured, hey, let's just suck all our evil out and put it on this planet. So they're responsible for Tasha Yar's death because they basically brought an entity of pure evil into existence. Like, he didn't exist. He exists as a byproduct of a society that didn't want to better themselves. They wanted to cheat to better themselves. And that always irritated me when I thought about it in depth. Which clearly I've done more than I ought to have done. I am the skin of evil. I also think it's interesting, too, that both General Grievous in Star Wars and Aramis both have that breathing problem. You know? I guess Villainy has his asthma or something. I don't know. So, guys, it's been a kind of crappy day for me, as I said. You know what I noticed? Michelle hasn't been here in a while. I wonder if she's okay. Leather collar looks real. Oh, thanks. I was like, I'm not wearing a leather collar. You mean the painting? Yes, thank you. I thought I took it off before stream. I'm just kidding. No, before stream I was playing Overwatch and eating cheese fries. So, yeah, that was what I was doing before stream. Now, what it was supposed to be cheese tots, but the darn people that in the takeout people got it wrong. Thank you. I was looking forward to cheese tots, but I guess cheese fries will do. Thank you. Sorry, cheese tots greater than cheese fries. It was so funny because Arlene called and she was like, "Oh, I'm on my way home," because she was out with a coworker. She goes, "I'm on my way home." I said, "Okay, great." She goes, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I think they sent cheese fries instead of cheese tots." And she goes, "Well, I can show the receipt." I'm like, "Honey, I know that you did it right. I don't doubt that. Thank God no smell-o-vision." Why? It just smells like turpentine right now. Cheese farts come later. But I was playing Overwatch and just eating cheese fries, and it was just... today was the opening of the art show in the Spartanburg Library, and they posted the video of all the winners, and... Chili's cheese tots or Chili's... No, it was from Local Q. Usually Local Q makes cheese tots. I get extra Gouda. I get Gouda. So like cheddar on it, but I have Gouda, tomatoes, mushrooms, and bacon bits added to it, and it's delicious. But they didn't send tots. They sent fries. And Arlene goes, "I ordered tots for you," because I asked her if she could do it for me because she's got it all on her phone. And I said, "Honey, I know, I believe you. I'm sure they messed it up on their end. I know they did. This is the second time they sent fries instead of tots." I'm like, and Arlene's like, "Maybe there's a tot shortage." I'm like, "I don't think so. You need." For those that don't know, I've actually been educated on tater tots. Tater tots are the leftover bits when they cut the French fries. It's literally French fry scrapple. And at first, they sold them really cheap. Or I'd have sold them super cheap. They're like, "Here's the French tater tots." And people, when they were offered them cheap, they're like, "Gosh, there's got to be something wrong with these potato tots. Got to be something wrong. You're selling them cheap." Because it was a byproduct. And people didn't want to buy them. They were suspicious of it. Then they charged them at a premium, and they flew off the shelves. Because people are sheep, man. You lead them one way, they'll go the other way. So they made it cheap because like it's a byproduct. We just need to get rid of it. Wouldn't buy it. They charged a premium, flew off the shelves. Sheep. I've noticed this before. If you walk in an aisle and you show no intention of walking down that aisle any further, no one will do anything. The minute you make bodily gestures that you're walking down the aisle, they will block the aisle every time. For no other purpose than just because you're going that way. It's a psychological thing, and I've noticed that with people. It's a psychological thing, and I think it has to do with our need to be seen. So people will intentionally block an aisle. Right, it's like the Truman Show. They do it like the Truman Show. They don't. It's not that they need to be there. It's just that they want to be seen that they're there. They don't want to be ignored. So psychologically, what do? They block the aisle. I used to think it was maliciousness. Now I just realize it's probably just a psychological thing. I don't think people even know they do it. It just happens because they're like, oh, gee whiz. I don't think they know that they're doing it. Bless their hearts. I don't think the average human being is aware that they do it, but you can actually trick people into blocking your path. I've actually done it before and proved it's true. Take that, Zuckerberg. I was manipulating people's psychology before you were. Ha! No, not that bad. No, not what you call it. Not that bad. Not what was that called? The Andromeda, whatever it was. Andromeda Concordia, or whatever it was called. That they manipulated people's moods. I believe I was a part of that experiment. What they were doing was they were testing people by feeding them certain things in their Facebook feeds to see if it changed their moods. And that happened around the time I almost killed myself. So I'm thinking they did that. I think they did that. Like, I think they honestly manipulated my feed, among others. It wasn't just mine. But I believe I was part of that experiment because I almost killed myself. Because it was just... I kept asking, why is a computer algorithm sending me the same stuff? It's because they were trying to test me to see if I kept... I think they were trying to test to see if I'd post more depressing and pressing stuff on my Facebook by showing me certain things in my feed. And it worked because I almost killed myself. I wish I could sue them for the emotional distress they put me through. But they'll never be able to prove it. But like if I'd post something like, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed, I'm so alone, it would show me all the posts of all my other friends hanging out with each other. As if to say, look, you're even more alone. All your friends are hanging out with each other and they didn't invite you. And it was constantly like this. The more I post about how depressed I was, the more I would see all these posts about all my friends doing things together. I know, like at first I thought it's just me, it's just because I'm a loser. And then I start looking at and then I found out about the Concordia thing, and I was, or whatever it was called, and I was like, oh my God, I was emotionally manipulated by Facebook. They were intentionally showing me feed of all my friends hanging out so that I would be depressed. Yeah. That's why I'd rather just talk to my friends and look through my Facebook feed and try to cheer myself up. It's not going to work. But yeah, they intentionally, I swear they intentionally manipulated my posts so that I'd be depressed. Because every time I'd post about how lonely I was, all of a sudden my Facebook feed was nothing but all my people, all my friends, what they were doing, how they were hanging out together. And it could be days old, but it would keep showing me the same posts to drive home. You're alone, you're not doing things with your friends, they're doing things with each other, and you're not invited. Constantly. Yeah. Instagram does some crazy things. I use it for business. I used to be in love with it. I don't love it anymore. I used to be like, oh my gosh, social media, gotta be number one on social media. No, I don't care. Because it is so manipulative. And I'm not saying like people that are on there are manipulative. The people that use it aren't being manipulative. I'm saying the companies that run it are manipulative. They don't care if you live or die. They just want more free content from you. I'll give you an example. Artists that make art posts get very little likes for their posts typically. But if I create an account and reshared other artists' posts, I get thousands of followers. Anyway, guys, the art show opened up today, and sadly, my drawing of Lindsay, the car drawing, won nothing. And I'm a little bummed about that because after being turned down for 2 shows, and then the show, I'm like, okay, maybe I can win a prize. Nope, nothing. And to be honest, I'm like, I don't know where I want to go from here. Like, I feel like my art has no content. It just looks good. And I don't know. I feel like my art could do more, but I don't know what. And I looked at a lot of the people that were winning, and I was like, that's not the content I want to make. Like, one of the pieces was like a protest piece, and I'm like, I feel like protest pieces have their place, but I also feel like a lot of protest pieces are just kind of kitschy. Like, oh, I can make a protest piece because I'm an artist. It's almost like, yep, seen that before. 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. It's like, you're not original. I've seen this before. I've seen this all before. You know, it's almost, yeah, it's cliche. I'm not saying I don't appreciate your struggle, but two things come out of that. One, I've seen it before, and it's about 30 years, 40 years, 50 years old. And the other side of it is, even though I appreciate your struggle of what you're protesting, it's not a fight close to my heart. Like, I'm not a racist, but I don't have a passionate heart to fight racism. As someone who's never faced racism up to a large degree, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I wholeheartedly believe it exists. I hate to say it, no, I don't hate to say it. One of my favorite movies is Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. It's an incredible movie that looks into what it means to be racist, or at least racial tensions, I should say. And I always was afraid to watch it because I'm like, maybe it's going to be a skewed perspective because it is from a very prominently black filmmaker. It's not. It's a very well-rounded film that looks at both white perspective and black perspective with equal. And the thing is, there's no good guys or bad guys. It's just, these are the issues. This is what can happen when things get out of hand. The important thing is that we should forgive each other and understand the other person's point of view. No good guys, no bad guys. Nobody's demonized. In fact, situations are demonized more than anything. And I'm like, this is a brilliant film. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to make paintings about racial tensions because that's not something I live with and I struggle against. I'm not in that problem. And I see it happen, but I don't feel like a painting of mine is going to change any of that. And I appreciate other people doing that, but that's not a fight passionate to my heart. I feel like if I did something like that, it would be completely fake. Like, I hate Nazis. I'm not going to make anti-Nazi art. You know what I mean? It's like, just because I'm against something doesn't mean I need to make a painting about that. And I don't know, I don't feel passionate about a message enough to make art about it. And that doesn't mean other people can't. It just leaves me in a quandary because I'm like, okay, if I want to make something that has some content, I don't know what that content would be, you know? So that's the hard part, because that's one thing I've been thinking about a lot is, how do I put content messages into my art? And not everything has to be about something, but I do think my art is lacking a little bit of, like, a message, in a sense. I just don't want, the problem is, I don't want to fight so hard to get a message that winds up being a cliche message either. Because there's also the case of that there's an ingenuity. I don't want to fight so hard to have a message that it winds up feeling artificial and forced. I might tell you a pic tomorrow trying to research what a symbol means. I don't want to wear it if it's a bad symbol. Well, if it's an upside down cross, what I mean by that is if it's an upside down cross, a lot of people think that's a satanic symbol. It's not. It's this cross of St. Peter. That's why a lot of my friends that are more goth are like, oh, you think you're so edgy, you're wearing an upside down cross. That is not an actual satanic symbol, guys. That is not Antichrist. That is literally just St. Peter's cross, so don't think you're being edgy. It really is, because basically, according to legend, St. Peter was like, I don't dare be crucified the same way as my Lord. I don't deserve it. Crucify me upside down, because I don't deserve to be seen the same way as my Lord. So it's funny, because it's like, y'all think it's a satanic symbol, and it's literally another symbol of Christianity. Which makes me laugh. Because it's like, it's true though. It's like people don't know the symbology behind the iconography is the word, not symbolology, Jason. The iconography behind symbols. They don't know. They think they know, and then they don't actually know. And there's a lot of ignorance in that. And one of my friends is a Christian lady, and she'll talk about that too. Even though she's not goth, she'll be like, all my goth friends act like they're edgy because they're wearing an upside down cross because it's funny, because they don't have any idea. They think because it's upside down, it must be satanic, and like, you're cute, you're being edgy. Satanic Church has claimed it as their own. Yeah, but they're wrong still. They're wrong. It's kind of like, well, it's also about context too. It's like this. It's almost like, it comes down to okay. It boils down to this too. It's like the Pepe the Frog thing. Pepe the Frog was not a racist thing, but a lot of like people have claimed it as a more racist icon. It's like there's nothing racist about Pepe the Frog as far as I know. But the thing is, people that were using it claimed it as that, and so they had to start. Some people started deleting it off their profiles and stuff because like, oh, it's a racist symbol. It's like, no, people claimed it as a racist symbol. Another great example is the swastika. The swastika pointing one direction is a holy symbol in some religions. Pointing the other direction, people have said the swastika is going in a different direction, is the Nazi one. So in other words, one direction is the holy symbol of like, I want to say, what was it? It's not Islam. Hindu, I think it's a holy sign, but if it has to be going the opposite direction of the Nazi one. That's supposedly why the Nazi one goes the reverse direction, because they didn't want to be associated with that Hindu symbol. But again, I don't know how much that's true. Does it really matter how much of it's true? I mean, if it doesn't matter who claims the symbol, if it's, I'll give you another great example of this. The one thing that really makes me sad is the toothbrush mustache. Charlie Chaplin made it famous. But now no one wears a toothbrush mustache anymore. Why? Because as soon as somebody sees it, they go, Hitler. There's nothing evil about that mustache, but because one madman in history wore that mustache. It's called the toothbrush. You wear it now, the first thing they'll do is like, oh, Hitler. Guaranteed. See, it's sometimes it happens that symbols are claimed by people that oughtn't claim it, but now it's claimed by them and there's nothing you can do about it, That mustache is forever ruined. No one can ever wear that mustache again because the first thing people will say is, oh, Hitler. Immediately. So, you have to be careful. Some symbols don't mean what they used to mean, and it's just sad because they've taken on meanings that were never intended by the people that first used them. A lot of things are like that, though, and that's why I go, that's not how it originated, but that's how people accept it now. That's how people see it now. People see the toothbrush mustache, it's automatically Hitler. Had nothing to do with Hitler. It's very popular. It was like I said, it's called the toothbrush. It's a very popular facial hairstyle. Like I said, the tramp, for gosh sakes. Charles Chaplin, there's nothing Nazi about that guy. Charlie Chaplin made it famous. But then it got bye-bye when Hitler did it. It was out the window. Couldn't do it again. Like I said, couldn't do it again. You couldn't. It's been ruined for life. Well, I feel like that's the case a lot of times with a lot of things too. Is that it's innocent, and then somebody gets meddling with it, and it's destroyed. And it's kind of an unfortunate fact, but it's the truth. It's also true. It's like I talk about like Easter and stuff. Like you have to ask yourself, do you want now Easter, as the name Easter has nothing to do with Christ, obviously, because it comes from Ishtar. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that do tie into other things too. So there's a lot of like really hyper religious folks that go, you shouldn't celebrate Easter. Easter represents Ishtar. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, that's where we get the bunnies and the eggs, because that's for all fertility symbols. I get that. But at the same time, is it bad for Christians to grab it and make it Christian? Or is it sacrilegious to take a pagan ritual and touch it at all? I don't know. I said it. Some say it's a Christian Crusader cross, but others say it's used by Nazi Germany. I hate to say it, but Nazi Germany usurped too much stuff. Okay, fun fact. I don't know how true this is. I wonder if that's the one I think it is. Fun fact. I wonder if that's the one I think it is. Fun fact. I wonder if that's the one Sorry about that echo. Sorry about that cough. You know what? I've seen that places. I have seen that places. In other uses. But I'll be honest, when I see it, that's the first thing I think of, because I actually think of two things. World War II and World War I. Like, I don't know if it actually originates there, and I think I've seen it on like some iconography for like bikers and things, but I don't know the origin of it. I'll have to look into it. And again, a lot of things may not have origins in bad things, but may have been usurped by them. And obviously you want to avoid any kind of bad connotations if it's been usurped by something bad. Because then you're like, oh man, I like this thing, but I can't use this thing because people are going to think I'm representing this other thing. Because context changes, and you can change. You can. I don't feel safer right wearing it if it's bad. Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I've seen it mixed things. Yeah, exactly. Because again, you may be wearing it in innocence, but it may not be innocent. Beyond, like, people may not accept it as being the innocent context you mean. So there's the danger trap there too. Is that it might be innocent to you, but the next person along goes, but that represents this, and you're like, not to me. And therein lies the danger trap, because you might want it to be 100% innocent, but the person that is receiving it may not be receiving it. Even if it's not, they may not be receiving it that way. They might still hear, it's like, they might say, oh, it's a hate symbol. If it is. I'm not saying it is. But like I said, I've seen it in context of, I want to say Nazi Germany, but also I've seen it in context, I think, of World War I. I want to say it's a Germanic cross, which doesn't exactly make it Nazi Germany. But then you have to ask yourself, too, where does the line draw? Like, for example, I know that the eagle was also a symbol of Nazi Germany. It was. The eagle, and a lot of times people wouldn't even touch an eagle for the longest time because of its connotations with Nazi Germany. So, yeah, because I think even I think a lot of Jewish cultures wouldn't touch the eagle as a symbol because of its connotations with Nazi Germany. Now, the eagle itself is so far spread as an icon, it's almost hard to ignore the eagle, but it was used quite prominently by Nazi Germany. But again, I don't think anybody's going to stop using the eagle as a symbol. But at the same time, it is indeed a symbol of Nazi Germany. I don't want to offend my church friends, spread eagle. No, not that kind of eagle. Not that kind of eagle, sis. Right, because you don't want to offend anybody that may take the symbol out of context. Because again, we don't know what the symbol, I don't know what it means either myself. And even if I do know what it means, it may have different meanings since its first appearances. But I know, I know for a fact that a lot of people, like as an example, people have read a lot into Kubrick using a certain type of typewriter in The Shining. Because the typewriter he used has an eagle as its symbol, and it's like, well, Kubrick was Jewish, and the eagle symbol was prominent in Nazi Germany. In fact, this typewriter was made in Germany at the same time. And it's like, they're reading all this context about, is The Shining a movie about Nazi Germany and the evils caused by it, all because the typewriter uses the same logo. You know what I mean? So it's like, iconography has a huge following and understanding. And I'm a huge person that appreciates symbols. I like looking into it. I remember there was this music video one time where this woman was drawing triangles and people were like, oh, it's the Illuminati. I'm like, think of what else is shaped like a triangle, guys. And it involves ladies. Pretty sure it's not about the Illuminati, guys. You're reading too much into that symbol. Think more basic. Think more basic. Think biology, guys. I'm like, let me drop you a hint about what that probably was representing in that music video. Think biology. But again, people read into it. They see a triangle. What's the first thing they think of? Oh, it's got to be the Illuminati. No, it doesn't have to be the Illuminati. Sometimes a triangle is just a triangle, and sometimes it's a triangle because ladies have triangles. But again, it's all about the iconography, and to me, it's all about context as well. You can't just look at the symbol without looking at the context of the symbol as well. To be honest, I've always seen like these bikers wearing this thing that say SS on them. I know Daryl from The Walking Dead has that, and I'm like, SS is the squad from the Nazis. But I can't imagine Daryl from The Walking Dead having such a prominent symbol from Nazi Germany, even if the character himself was a little bit racist, which I don't think he is at all. I'm still left going, but why would they let that symbol slide into the show? I don't know. Because all I can think of SS is like the secret squad in Nazi Germany, So it kind of freaks me out. Like, what does that mean, We do what? We do what? We do what? I don't know what you mean. We do what? I don't understand your question. Have triangles. Oh, yeah. Right. Think about how a bikini is shaped, ladies. Think about it. Bras and bikinis, bikini bottoms are both shaped like triangles. You know what I mean? So a triangle with the point downwards is a very feminine symbol in certain contexts. And that's why I was saying this music video is kind of on the sexier side, and talking about she's like almost like a witch doctor of sexual prowess, I would say. Yeah, but you know what that shape is what I'm saying. So here's the whole shtick of the song is that she's like a witch doctor of love, and she's drawing upside down triangles. People say it's the Illuminati. Like, the Illuminati triangle's the other way around, dum-dums, first of all. Second of all, the entire point of the song is how she's like the witch doctor of love, and then you're telling me these triangles represent the Illuminati. You are way buried in your conspiracy theories, guys. And you need to get laid. I mean, I'm like, y'all just need to get laid. If you're looking at triangles in a context of a music video where she's trying to be sexy and saying it's a proof of the Illuminati, y'all need to get laid. I'm just saying. Right, like Love Potion number 9, right? Exactly. If you talked about Love Potion number 9, and then you were talking about all this other stuff, and you were like, and then there was like, exactly. Why would you have the Illuminati reference in something like that? Dude, think it through. Think it through, geniuses. Think it through. They didn't think about it too well, I can tell you that. It's the Illuminati. I was like, I about busted out laughing when I read that comment on that video. I was like, oh, wee lasses and lads, how you think you know everything? Hi, baby. Yeah, she thinks she knows things and she doesn't. Want to say hi? It's my sister. Hi. She just said hi. Hopefully you heard that. That's in the wrong place. How was it? Yeah, gets popular. Mm-hmm. No, peach habanero with ketchup. You. I don't know how to make ketchup, love. No, you probably take regular ketchup and then peaches and habaneros. You're a goober. You're probably not right. Oh, my sister's, hi! Hi! You need to sleep. What? Go to bed. Go to bed. What'd you say? Oh, I know. I don't think you could at this angle, but I understand. Okay, that was really dumb. You could live without that, right? Okay, there we go. Meaner than a two-headed snake with rabies. Arlene likes it when I say meaner than a two-headed snake with rabies. I always laugh because snakes don't get rabies, and that's the joke. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the funny part about that joke is. It's like, oh, snakes don't get rabies, guys. Hence the joke. Like that meme from The Simpsons. That's the joke. That guy just... Meaner than a two-headed snake with rabies! 400 babies. Anya 1969 followed my channel. Who the heck is that? You know, I have to reach out to Michelle and ask her how she is. I haven't seen her in this stream in forevers. And I'm kind of worried about that. It's been a couple weeks. I'm like, oof. Has she been busy? Has life been a butt? One inch below the grid. That's hitting below the grid. Auntie? No, Michelle. My local friend Michelle. The cosplay friend I told you about. That she comes in every once in a while. And She's been quite a regular viewer as of late, but all of a sudden she's just like disappeared. I'm like, no, where'd you go? That's completely wrong. That's completely wrong. This should be over here. Yeah, that's completely wrong, guys. And that needs to be moved down. And this needs to be lower down. Yeah, that needs to be much lower down, guys. Lower down.
These Atkins Diet Pizza Bites, not bad.
Where'd you go to get a snack?
Huh?
So where'd you go to get a snack?
Atkins Diet Pizza Bites. Everything else is closed. Short staff.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Every time I think about that, I think about Bohemian Rhapsody. You know? You know what I'm talking about, babe? Every time I hear that word, I think about Bohemian Rhapsody. Every time I hear that word, I think of Bohemian Rhapsody. What'd you say? Who's the next China? Oh. By the way, I finally saw that Kim Kardashian thing you were talking about, baby doll. And that is scary as hell looking. I was like, ooh, girl, that just looks really creepy. Did you see the one I sent you on Instagram? My sister sent me that and I had to laugh. What are you laughing about, sis? Wub wub. No, I'm not mad. I just want to know what you're laughing at. Base. No, it's lint. Thank God. Base. It's time for the base. Oh, well, I actually got my voice back. I probably can turn on. See what it is? I turned off all the just being silly. Okay. I need to turn back on the impressions. Now I can do them again. Bass. Epic voice can come back. What happened? What? Arlene thinks she left her phone in the car. Bah! Bass. It's time for the bass. Yeah, I'm glad to get the Lego thing done. I liked building it. It's actually got a very happy place in my collection. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to get back to painting. I want to get this done. I want to move on to other things, you know? The Seinfeld thing was really fun to build. I put it up on my collectible shelf. Just today, just before stream to get up out of the way. And like I said, I'm not hating on it. I loved it a lot. One of my other streamer friends built the same set. And I was like, is the table supposed to wiggle like that? He goes, I thought it was weird that it wiggled like that too, but mine does. So I guess if it wiggles, it wiggles. It's supposed to. I think some of it's designed. I should probably head to bed. No, kids have minor colds. No, nothing major, but kids need mommies more than they are under the weather. No, they don't. Your brothers need sisters more than kids need mothers. No. Stop being selfish and only think of your kids. God. Go be a mother, jeez. I sound so freaking selfish. But yeah, I think I told you that my drawing didn't do anything. Nothing happened. No awards, no prize money. Why not? Your drawing sucks. True, but hubby might be getting it. And we all know how men are when they are sick. Hey, honey, was I good during my cold? You brat! See if I call on you.
Baby.
I was not a... I worked in 80. I worked in 80-degree weather with my cold. Our air conditioner busted the same day. The air conditioner busted the same day that I got my cold. You're a whiny baby. You sat in bed all day that Saturday and slept in and did nothing. Lazy. I busted my ass. Our air conditioner busted on Friday. And I sat up here in 80-degree weather in this room, working, calling people with a bad cold. Go sleep and be with your kids. And be like that. Shoot. Shut up, Tucker. You've got to watch that episode of Enterprise. Okay, before you leave, I was telling you should watch that episode of Enterprise for a couple reasons. One, it's called Dead Stop. I'll tell you about it before you leave, if you've got a minute. I'll be quick. You owe me for... Okay. So it's called Dead Stop. Basic premise is... It's like... Enterprise is like set during before there's a Federation. There's a Starfleet for Earth, but there's not a Federation. We know the Klingon, we know the Vulcans, but we're still learning all the other races because the Vulcans know of them, but they don't want to tell us because they're like, you don't need to know. The Vulcans are basically keeping us in the dark because they don't trust us. And it's hinted that the reason why the Federation is more open is because we told the Vulcans it's time for being more open. That's why Earth is kind of at the center of the Federation, because we're the ones that are like, you all are too stiff. You need somebody to loosen you up, and we loosen them up, which is why the Federation is based on Earth. Well, anyway, the episode before, they stumble across a Romulan minefield, and the mines stick to the ship, and one of the mines goes right through the security chief's tactical officer's leg and cuts some gashes in him open, and he has to go through like massive amounts of rehab to get it repaired. But the ship's also torn to shreds, and they're like, okay, how do we get the ship repaired? And they look at the stuff, and they're like, it's going to take us like 2 months getting this repaired, 3 months getting this repaired, if we got to a starbase. And we're stuck to like warp 2, and that means we're 10 years from getting back to a starbase, because they don't even have warp 5 at this point. So they're like, they're like, at this rate, warp 2, it'll take us 10 years to get back home. And they're like, well, I guess what we're going to do? He's like, well, if we can find alloys, we can repair the ship on the way, but what are we going to, I don't know what we're going to do. So the captain goes, okay, let's put out a general distress call, see if anybody answers it. And they get a distress call from a Tellarite freighter, and the only words they pick up are like, repair station, coordinates. They get a set of coordinates, like, let's check it out. They go there, and it's an automated repair station. And like, please put your ship in for repairs. So they dock the ship. Yeah, I know, Voyager did top that, but you have to remember that, like, in the early days of the Federation, when they only had warp 5, and they only had warp 2 because the ship was, the ship was so torn apart they couldn't go above warp 2 without shredding the entire hull off. So warp 2 is the best they can manage, and warp 2 put them 10 years out. And you got to remember, like, when they don't know what they're doing in space, 10 years out seems like a century. So anyway, yeah, Voyager had them all licked by that point. Very much so. So they go into the space station. It's like, repair is estimated at 26 of your hours. And they're like, 26 of our hours? Dang, that's going to be really quick. Like, this would take 3 months back home if we had a space dock. Like, please enter a method of compensation. And they choose warp plasma. Well, anyway, the station is completely automated. And the voice of the station is Roxanne Dawson. So imagine a station that's automated and repairs things that uses B'Elanna Torres as the voice. And the episode is actually directed by Roxanne Dawson as well. So she directs the episode and she voices the automated station. It's one of my favorite episodes of Enterprise. Because like one of the crewmen dies and the doctor goes, I've done a thorough examination of this. This is not Ensign Mayweather. Right, that's what I thought. Exactly what I thought. Like, she played an engineer and now it's an automated space station. That automated repair station. And so like they'll be like, what happened to this? Your inquiry was not recognized. And it's like, let me get, they're like, one time I guess the chief engineer of Enterprise, his name's Trip Tucker, he goes, I asked if I could take a look, he's a country boy, he's from Florida. He's like, I asked if I could take a look at that computer core and see what it looked like. What happened? Your inquiry was not recognized. She says like, he wouldn't even let me look at the computer core. Well, anyway, long story short, like I said, one of the crewmen dies in the repair process, and the doctor goes, "This is not Ensign Mayweather." I'm like, it's him. We look at him. It's like, nope, it looks like him, but it's an exact copy of him. The station, what it does is as part of its payment, it takes a crewman, abducts it, plugs it into its part of its memory core. So it uses the person's brain as its memory core, replaces them with a dead body that is exactly a replica of that person. Because it can't make a living being. Because who can replicate living tissue? They can't. So it replicated a dead copy of him so that it could abduct him and plug him into its memory core. And you're like, oh my God, this station has like a living brain out of like 15 abducted people locked together. And my favorite part is he goes, look at the bloodstream of this corpse. And he goes, so what? There's a vaccine. It's like the vaccine in his body, dead. Like maybe he died when he died. He goes, nope, shouldn't have died like that. If anything, they would have multiplied. He goes, it's ironic. This station can reproduce a human body down to its smallest, tiniest protein, but a one-celled single organism, it couldn't reproduce him alive. And I'm like, what a heck of a detective story. He was like, look, the vaccine's dead. It wouldn't have died. This isn't his body. This is a copy. So they bust into the computer core, and there's their friend tied up to the computer system in the back. And you're like, oh my gosh, this thing. So on the way out, they ignite the warp plasma, and they blow up the station. And you're like, heck yeah, they destroyed this evil space station that's voiced by Bellana Torres. But the funny part is, at the very end, you see the space station debris, and it's starting to repair itself. And you're like, sequel! They never again address it, but at the same time, you're like, sequel? I mean, it started repairing itself again, right? So it's complete within the realm of possibility. Other ships came across it and got in trouble. I don't know, but it was one of the best ones. And the thing is, the one immediately after that is one of my other favorite episodes of Enterprise, because the next episode they go down to a planet and the captain's beagle goes down with them, and the beagle gets sick, and the captain wigs out. He's like, why didn't you tell us something on your planet would make beagles sick? And the planet is ticked at him because his beagle peed on a sacred tree. Time for a warning buoy. Yeah, drop a warning buoy on that station. So yeah, the next one, like I said, called The Night at Sick Bay, because his dog gets sick. So he spends the entire night in sick bay, and they're like, why didn't you tell us you had something on your planet that was harmful to dogs? And the reason that this alien race is ticked at him is because his dog peed on their sacred tree. And he gets so ticked. He's like, fine, beam me down there and I'll pee on their sacred tree for letting my dog get sick like that. His passionate love for his beagle, Porthos, is just adorable. And the fact he has to basically spend a sleepless night in sick bay. It's called A Night in Sick Bay. And he has to put up with the doctor's quirks, because because I mean, they don't have dermal regenerators at this point in history. They don't have half the stuff they need for to do the stuff that they do in Star Trek. So he's basically getting by on space leeches. Like literally, he has like space leeches and bats and all these enzymes. He's more holistic. And the thing is, he knows things and it works, but it's mostly holistic medicine because they don't have dermal regenerators. They don't have all these other tools that they need. So he uses all these weird leeches and bats and things, and it works. But again, it's not, dermal regenerators and all this other cool stuff that they usually have in Star Trek. So he has to put up with Dr. Phlox. Yeah. Dr. Phlox, see, the EMH had ego quirks. Dr. Phlox had he was like half, he was like a witch doctor holistic quirk. So, oh, please don't put more leeches on this thing. Because there was in the episode Dead Stop, the one that got the thing through his leg the episode before, he's like, the repairs will go faster. I'll use more regular leeches because you still haven't found the last one. I told you it'd work its way out eventually. And you're like, there's a leech running around this guy's body. And the doctor's like, he'll work his way out eventually. So it's like he's part holistic and part like witch doctor. And it's hilarious because they all trust him because he knows his stuff. But at the same time, it's almost like banging rocks together at this point because it's like there's no dermal regenerators. There's nothing. It's just, here's Dr. Phlox with his leeches. So that part could be pretty enjoyable too, because he's a very chipper, sort of genial kind of guy, but he works with leeches and stuff. I can smell malpractice. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, one thing I will respect about Enterprise big time is how they introduced him in the series. Like they introduced him, they folded him in so well. Because basically, there's a Klingon that lands in Earth, and humans don't know what Klingons are. And they're like, it's a Klingat. And the Vulcan goes, Klingon. They're from a warrior race. We'll handle this. And Earth's like, you ain't handling nothing. He crash landed on our planet and started firing stuff. We need to figure this out. And they're like, Vulcan's like, no, you have no idea what's out there. And Earth's like, we gonna figure it out. And the doctor doing the autopsy is Dr. Phlox. So he's like, you can't leave Doc without a doctor. He's like, how about the autopsy doctor? I like him. And he's like, I guess that'll work. Like, it was such an easy way of just integrating him into the series where it wasn't like, here's your doctor. He was just like, that guy works. Can we take him? And it's just like, because basically in Broken Bow, an Enterprise, a Klingon shuttle crashes into Earth hunting down a fugitive. And the fugitive kills the Klingon, and the fugitives get away. And they're like, why was there a firefight in a cornfield in Oklahoma? We need to figure this out. And so Earth's itching to get into space, and the Vulcans are like, you're not ready for this. We'll deal with this. And they're like, no, enough's enough. We've been working on warp drive. You've been watching us for 100 years. We need to be out there doing stuff instead of just you directing us. So it's almost like the Vulcans are like control overlords because they're just too suspicious of us. And we're just like, we finally show them what we're made of. And that's how the Federation starts. It's an interesting story, and it's well told. But again, I agree with people that say, don't watch it to expect good Trek. Watch it expecting it to be a good sci-fi. It's an excellent sci-fi. It's a lousy Trek. It's a great sci-fi show, though. It really is excellent as a sci-fi. But again, if you watch it going, oh, Star Trek, it won't be. It's not. It's not Star Trek. Star Trek is the Federation. There's no Federation. Can't be Star Trek. But once I divorced it from being Star Trek and just watched it as a sci-fi show, that's when I started to like it. Because it's not about the Federation, so it's not a good Star Trek show. It's a good sci-fi show that happens to take place in the same universe as Star Trek. But it's not a good Star Trek show. And that's where I really started liking it. So those two episodes right in a row, Dead Stop and A Night in Sick Bay, are my two favorites. There's some other good ones. There's one that they obviously patterned after the Magnificent Seven. It's basically about this group of miners, and this Klingon marauder comes along with a group of people and robs them of 90% of their harvest of minerals. And so they're like, we'll help teach you how to fight and stand up against these guys. And like they train them on how to fight against blunt trauma weapons and how to use their weapons and how to make booby traps to stop this one rogue Klingon that's like, give me all your money every year. And it's like, I think even the captain's like, they rob these people every year? That doesn't sound like an honorable thing to do as a Klingon. Yeah, he's not a very good Klingon. He's a very jerky kind of Klingon, you know? I mean, it takes all kinds. I mean, there's Ferengi scientists. I mean, what does that tell you? Not all of them fly the cliche. You know? I still laugh at that one guy that was the Ferengi scientist, and Dr. Crusher's like, I know, you're a Ferengi scientist, no one believes you. He's like, yeah, no one respects my work, but, you know, I do the best I can. I can spell malpractice. Yeah, I mean, Phlox, bless his heart, is in a world of his own. Because again, he cannot do 90% of the stuff that other doctors on Star Trek can do. Because he works at a time when there's, you know, he's got to basically work with holistic stuff for the most part. You know, there's no dermal regenerators, none of that fancy stuff. So, again, I like him because he's one of the most genial doctors. Like, he's like, take 50% Neelix and put that in there. Like, he's not quite... Okay, I want to say something that's probably unpopular, but Neelix is a great character. Like, I've read Star Trek threads about this, and I totally agree about this. Was Neelix annoying sometimes? Yes. There's some storylines with him, especially when he made the Kess jealousy stuff, is kind of boring and stupid. It's almost counter to his character for the most part, too, because he's usually Mr. Easygoing. But, like, people said, imagine being the guy that always has to be happy because it's his job. Like, I remember people were saying, like, it's like, why is he always got to be happy? He's like, he's morale officer. Morale officer would have to be happy all the time, or at least project being happy. He has to fake being happy because that's his damn job. And I'm like, they're right. His annoying chipperness and always wanting to be That's part of his job. His job is to keep everybody happy and smiling and their moods up. He was just damn good at his job. And I'm like, I went from like loathing him as a character to being like, wait a second, he may have been more on top of it than most people. And it's true. The stinking meerkat looking. he may have had it more together than most people did. But it's true. You know, it's one of those things. Well, I think you probably got to go. I'm sorry I kept you on. I'm glad you were able to stick around for my Enterprise rant, because it's like I said, there's some good episodes to be had. They're not all good. There are some definite moments where you're like, that was a good episode. Like, there was one that takes place where a bunch of Vulcans that actually crash landed on Earth, and I think it's called Cripple Creek, and it's pretty amusing because these Vulcans had crash landed on Earth before First Contact, so in like the 1950s, but they really couldn't disclose it because it wasn't really First Contact, because they did it on accident. Like, they integrated into human society to hide until they could repair their ship and get out. So it's like, it's kind of funny that they had to, like, you know, hide out on Earth, and like, it's just funny to see Vulcans going, I want to be home from work. I Live Lucy will be on tonight. And you're like, oh my god. A couple of things they played a little fast and loose with. Okay, so you know what I always wondered about? How do they have Borg on Enterprise? I finally watched that episode. I think it's called Cold Start or something. Basically, I found out what happened. It's basically the Borg. It's the Borg that survived the movie Star Trek First Contact. The ones that were on the sphere that went back in time with Zephyr Cochrane, when they blew up the sphere, those landed in like Antarctica and were frozen for like 50 years. So it's not like the Borg encountered us. They found the corpses left over from Star Trek First Contact. I'm like, that makes sense. That they had survivors from First Contact movie. And I was like, okay, now I'm interested. Now I'm definitely interested in this episode. Because they had to, like I said, all these people were about to be assimilated by the Borg because, you know, we didn't know what to do with them. Because we didn't have the capability of being able to address the Borg at that time. Interesting stuff, though. Very interesting stuff. So some of the things that they had to work around to add things to Enterprise, I'm like, I can see that. It makes sense. Stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I got it. Makes sense. Ooh, that's a loud sound. Sorry, y'all. I think I lost you, sis. I think I lost everybody, actually. Man, I haven't had none of my regulars in today. What time is it? 10, 11. Good gosh. Y'all were Legoed out when I played Legos earlier. Like, I don't want to be on his streams anymore. Eating Legos. We're done. I did my 3 viewing hours for the week. I'm good. I was even going to ask, am I even streaming right now? T's watching me. I'm pretty sure she can see me. Well, sis, I think I've lost you, and if that's the case, I'm glad I had you when I did. Wish I'd thought of it. Nah. Glad I didn't think of it. I thought I had a plan. I was like, wish I'd enacted that plan. I'm like, no, I'm glad I didn't enact that plan. That led to disaster last time. About to sign off. I thought so. You were kind of distant, so I was like, okay, you probably had to go. But you weren't probably had to go. You were about to go. I get you, sis. Go be with your family. Go be with your sick family. That sounds weird, but go be with your sick family. No, but I mean, go be with them because they need you. They need a mom. Love you, sis. Glad you could be here when you could, as much as you could be here. I appreciate that. Glad you could be here as much as you could be. Definitely. Love you, sis. Hopefully I'll have better news for you sometime. Instead of I entered an art show and I didn't win anything, or entered an art show and I wasn't even put in the show. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and that's one of the things I've been searching about lately. Have a good night. Hope she's not. I'm gonna reach out to her. She's been pretty active in my streams before, and all of a sudden she just disappears. I'm like, what the heck is everybody going? The thing is, it's like, I feel like everybody at once just disappears, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? Did I do something offensive? Burped on stream is what it was. Sorry, that's a video of Minecraft. This guy was watching. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Who knows what that's about? Who even knows? Who knows even? Yeah, I'm waiting on an order from. I'm waiting on my car to be repaired. Haven't heard from a mechanic in a week and a half. He's a reliable mechanic. It's just last time I knew, he was like, I'm hoping it's nothing more serious with your car, because the first part I put in immediately burned out. So I'm hoping that means the part was bad, because it could mean something's worse with your car than I thought. So that's part problem number one. I've been waiting on an order from Copic because I needed some stuff to do some commissions. And my local art supply store was like, oh yeah, that's still on back order. I'm like, great, I needed that like this month, and now it's still on back order. That's fabulous to know. Thank you. So I'm like, I'd spend nothing but wait with all the things I need done. It's like I need X, Y, and Z to be done, and instead it's not done. And it's like, it's frustrating to me. So I'm like, I needed this done, and instead I'm getting is more hurry up and wait. And the couple things I was waiting on have been disappointments. The Copic contest, nothing. Disappointment. So that was kind of disappointing. I was like, oh great, I've been waiting on months for that to come together. And then it turns out that I wasn't even part of the show. And then, like I said, this is like, I'm waiting on my car to be repaired, and it's like, not yet. And it's like, I need that car like yesterday, or at least I don't need it, but I want it back, you know? Because I can't do anything now. Like, if I have to go out to the store, I can't, because, you know, I don't have a car. So unless Arlene's home, I can't go and do anything. The thing that's most annoying is that darn Copic order being delayed, because I'm like, I've got people, paying customers waiting on me, but I can't do a thing about it because Copic is not, you know, there's no markers to be had. I'm looking for a refill, and I'm just gonna I don't need the refill, I just need the marker. I mean, I don't need the marker, I just need the refill, and I feel like I'm going to bite the bullet and buy the marker because I can't find the refill. It's wasteful, but I have no choice. You know, that's kind of annoying, but that's... I'm afraid it's going to wind up being the case, you know? It is what it is, guys. I hate saying that for saying, because I hate it with a passion, but that's where I'm at right now. Unless somebody, you know, steps up and makes it happen. I'm going through some... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Sorry, I'm already read that stuff. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I know. I've gotten a little bit of hint of what you've been going through too, sis. I'm sorry. I don't even know if you're still there, but if you are, I know I've gotten a hint of what you've been going through, and I understand. I can't relate because I've never been through that exact situation, but I understand how that feels in other similar situations. So I know how much that can suck. Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if we can get this zipper done. See, the problem is I need to do this real quick. Even out the zipper teeth. There we go. See, just doing that much, and then we're gonna take another bit of it. And take a little bit more of the white. The white. The whites. The ringer cannot feel empty, my dude. The dude. The ringer cannot feel empty. What'd you put in here, man? The whites. The ringer cannot feel empty, dude. I'm gonna have to go through some... Oh, no, I've already read that stuff like 15 times. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the... if y'all don't know what I'm talking about the movie The Big Lebowski. When John Goodman insists that his friend, the dude played by Jeff Bridges, has to put like something in a briefcase so it feels like it's not empty. And he puts his dirty underwear in the case so that it doesn't feel empty. So when they drop off money, it feels like there's money in the briefcase. It's like, you can't put your dirty underwear in a case and convince people it's money. Okay? Just throwing that out there. Although that moron tried doing it. There we go. So we're going to do this. And that. Okay. Stroke like that. Stroke delta. That's a reference to Space Nine. Stroke delta is the name of a type of chip that's used in the Defiant. And Chief O'Brien has to identify it when he's miniature. That's the interesting part. He has to identify it when he's like this tall. Chief O'Brien, not the chip. That's Chief O'Brien for you, isn't it? I was talking about how interesting Chief O'Brien is as a character the other day with my wife, and it's true. Chief O'Brien's a very interesting character. He's one of the few characters in Star Trek that present him as a good guy, even though he's got a little bit of racist tendencies. Like, he's racist against Cardassians. And it's like, it's interesting how he's presented as almost like a hero, but at the same time he's racist against Cardassians. You know, and it's like, it's interesting how he's presented as a hero, even though he blatantly just does not like Cardassians. He's like, I like Cardassians. Like, no, you don't, dude. You racist against them all the time, dude. You know, it's like, sure, I like them fine. It's like, no, you don't. You like them dead. Is what it is, my Chief O'Brien, my dude. Ah, la 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 la. Okay, I'm gonna call it like that. And there's gonna be like a little bit of a thing here. I don't know if it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be like that. There we go. There we go. Bah, 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 bah. This part here is gonna be kind of more drabby. I'm gonna hide that. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. This brush here. It was Cobb. Every time I hear this music, it makes me think of, hey, Porthos, hi. Every time I hear this music, it makes me think of Following by Christopher Nolan's first film. It was Cobb. They also said they found a hammer in your possession. It was Cobb. This poor guy trying to explain away why it wasn't him that committed a murder, and it wasn't him. Well, he did, but he was tricked into it, shall we say. He was tricked into being framed. It was Cobb. Now to Mr. D. Lloyd. It's interesting, though. I always find it interesting that Cobb is the name of the villain, right, in that movie. And Cobb is the name of the guy from Inception. Nolan must have really liked the name Cobb. All I'm going to say. That's all I have to say about that. Now that I'm back painting, how are you? We're doing this piece. Well, I'm making prints of it. But a friend of mine's like, I want to buy it. And I'm like, when it's still the blue background, she says, I want to buy it. I said, you don't even know if it's going to be any good. She was like, she essentially said, F no, I know this is going to be a good piece. Like, she's like, F no, this is going to be a great piece. I was like, well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I don't think it's going to be great. But, you know, the minute I slapped the red background on it, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. This is right. Yeah, this is right. This is about the right thing. My friend that used to work for corporate Disney says I should apply for Disney licensing, and I tried applying, and there's no way. I don't see any information on how to do it. I've tried. I've reached out, and the thing they say is they ignore my requests. It's not the first time I've actually applied for licensing someplace and they've ignored my request. Proving once and again, it's not how much you make, it's who you know. I'm gonna thin this down just a bit because it's a bit thick. A bit thick on the edge. Sarah, you might appreciate this. I was in competitive Overwatch before my stream, and I placed in almost gold for healing. And I was like, yay. I thought I was going to place like, it's high silver. Oh, silver, but I mean, it's still chipper little tune. Oh yeah, it is, right? But I placed high silver. So I'm only a couple wins away from gold in healing category, which is pretty good. I mean, it's not the best. The best would be like platinum. I mean, the best is grandmaster. Oh, that was on edge. Oh, crud. I didn't even know that. So I got to do this. A little bit touches here and then the lips. So the good news is I'm almost done with this. I might use the maul stick because some parts of this are wet, so hopefully I can get on next week and play. Not able to play anytime soon? I haven't seen you on in forever. Of course, I never see when anybody's on anyway because most of the time I'm either signing off, signing on, or most people I know are offline, so I can't even see when they're on. I thought of you today because I was talking about Enterprise, the show Enterprise, and the dog. Scott Bakula's dog on Enterprise, his beagle is named Porthos, and I thought of you. Thought of your account name. I think it's funny because he's hilarious. Exactly. Keep saying next week. Yeah, I know. You keep saying next week. One day I'll no longer believe you. I'll just say you're crying wolf. I'm looking forward. They're supposed to be doing more updates for Overwatch, for Minecraft. I can't wait for them to do the Caves and Cliffs Part 2, but I don't know when they're going to do that. They've added so much new stuff. The Amethyst block. Have you played with Amethyst yet, Sarah? Amethyst is just amazing. Amethyst comes in these little geodes you find underground, right? And the cool thing about Amethyst is when you step on it, it makes a little crystalline sound. Like little chimes. Ting, ting, tong, ting, ting, tong, ting, 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 tong, ting. And it randomizes. So you just get this pretty tune that never stays the same. I'm going to go through Star Trek again. I know what you mean. But yeah, Enterprise. Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula. There's an episode I was just talking about with my sister. It's called A Night in Sick Bay. Basically, he beams down his dog on an away mission. They offended some diplomats or dignitaries or something. So he beams down with the dog to try to make peace with him. I'm like, why'd you bring your dog? Basically, we don't see it on screen, but we get the hint that they probably were not happy with him bringing the dog. Well, apparently, his little pet dog, Porthos, had peed on their sacred tree. Well, in the process... But I saw a streamer playing with it. Oh yeah, the Amethyst, isn't it lovely? Amethyst is just amazing. I love it. When I found a geode underwater, I'm like, this is not my new underwater cave. I cut out a hole, and now it's my underwater sanctuary now, because I can make Amethyst my underwater sanctuary. And I walk in here, ting 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 ting, like it's pleasant, like walking on wind chimes. It's gorgeous. But so his dog Porthos pees on their sacred tree. But the thing is, like, he gets sick. Another underwater, same one. No, you can find amethyst. Amethysts are only underground. You mean my underground base? It's a new one. It's just a mini base, nothing big. I was just going through underground, like, why is there a big thing underground that looks white and black? I was like, oh, it's a geode. So I went to it, dug a hole in it, and made it like a mini underwater base. And the fun part was it's right next to a shipwreck, too. So I can get to the shipwreck very easily by swimming to it without drowning because I'm right near the shipwreck with the geode. So it gives me a breathing portal near the shipwreck, you know? My lines are a little bit crooked, but honestly it doesn't really matter. These lines are supposed to be a bit crooked. That's why I wasn't being too careful about lining these out. That's why I didn't like pre-draw these out. They're not supposed to be evenly spaced. They're supposed to be kind of crooked. But anyway, her eyes look amazing. Everybody says that. I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, I love the geodes. They're just hard to find. There is a computer program online you can get that will actually let you find where your geodes are in your world, provided that you haven't like walked over that part of the world before. If you've walked over it before, it'll go, oh, no geodes here because it's brand new. But you can find copper. I love copper. Copper's a little tricky because it has this aging algorithm, and I've learned how to work the algorithm to success. Because it doesn't want to age when it sits near itself. So you want to space out your copper so it ages better. Copper 4 blocks apart ages faster than copper on top of each other, which makes no sense, but there you have it. So if you put copper right next, like 4 blocks apart, it ages faster than you put it next to each other. So you're better off spacing off your copper blocks so that you can age it quicker and get green copper. And I just figured it's better to age all your copper because you can always scrape off the aging if you don't need aged copper. But you can't make aged copper. It takes time. So all my copper blocks, I just got them aged and then put them in a crate. Because again, if I ever need aged copper to build, I'll have aged copper. Right now, I think aged copper is probably the most precious resource in Minecraft. Because you can't make copper age faster. It's a process that takes time. And it just takes time. So I'm going to wipe away some of that. I miss playing games. Me too. I miss you playing games with us. But I was just so happy because I played healer. And I won one, lost one in competitive, so I wound up with a record of I think 3-2, and it placed me in 1932, which is way higher than my DPS placement, and almost gold. I was like, heck yeah, it's one of my highest placements I've done in years in that. It's because I think that's because I can perform really good as a healer. I can perform really good as a DPS, but the problem is most people in tank and healer are no good. When you're loose queue, I'm not talking about with our people. Our people know what they're doing. But it's been one of my best placements I've ever had right out the gate. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Because sometimes competitive can be very frustrating because you play your butt off and then you wind up 1,700. And you're like, oh, great, 17. Goal, 1,700 is silver. Not that great. The worst is bronze. Silver is the next best. They said the average Xbox player actually is at gold. So if you're in gold, you're pretty much the average. I think I'm about a platinum player. If I can get past a lot of the people that hold me down, I think if like when I play gold games, I feel like I'm half the time surrounded by people as smart as me. When I get to platinum games, I feel like 2 out of 3 people might be smarter than me or more skilled than me. Because I think honestly in bronze, it's knowing what to pick. Silver, it's knowing when to do it. Gold is having the ability to actually shoot what you're aiming at. Like literally 90% of Overwatch in gold, bronze, and silver is being able to admit you're making a mistake, stop doing it, and switch to something else. And that's where most people get stuck. Like there was a guy in my one game that I lost. He was playing Genji, and he never switched. And it's sad because you can play an entire game, and the people are so unaware that they're not doing anything that they never switch. And you're like, how are you at this level of play if you don't even know that you're slowing your team down? Like you don't feel like no one's dying and wonder what's going on. Like I could tell no one was dying, and we played one on Havana. Havana, where you have to go through the streets and go through the tobacco factory. We pushed it almost all the way to the end, and then my teammate finally pushed it that last inch. And then on the attack, they never got it to the first door. Like we skunked them so hard, and that's how I knew we deserved to win that game. And I got so many endorsements from that. I actually leveled up in my endorsements. Because with that one, they were like, this guy's good. They gave me endorsement. Because they knew I was healing like crazy. I mean, I think I had like 11,000 healing. Because I knew what I was doing. I was fighting as best I could to keep our team alive. And I played like I think at that point I played BAP. I played BAP to start, and it worked great. And then we went in the part of you go through Dom Robotico, which is the liquor distillery with all the big vats and everything, and it got tight quarters, so I switched to Brig, and I stayed on Brig, because I found out a lot of their enemies, like their diva was incredible, and I had to figure out how to counter her. BAP wasn't countering her. One of the best counters for diva when you're playing a DPS, I mean a healer, are going to be Brig, because she can swat. There's nothing Diva can do to stop her. Like, Brig swatting her, Diva can't block it. She's just sitting there being a punching bag for Brigitte. The other one I would say is Moira, because Moira can literally just go with her purple beam and rip her apart, and there's nothing Diva can do to stop it. So a Moira with distance or a Brig right on top of her completely destroys Diva. So that's why my teammate was playing Moira, so I couldn't play her, so I had to play Brig. Although I'm not, how do I put this? I have confidence that I can play Brig well enough. And I think that I did. I mean, we won, so I guess we must have done. And my team, I think all my team endorsed me. So I think they could see I was trying my best. That's honestly all I can do in comp is try your best. Because comp is really, like I said, comp is really honestly a mixed bag. You don't know what you're going to get. You really don't. Thank you. But like I said, it's honestly very much so a mixed bag. You have no idea what you're going to face against. You can get dumb teammates. You can get good teammates. Like I said, their diva was a nuisance. I'm like, how is this one such a nuisance? Like, I was so annoyed with her. That's how I knew she was doing her job. I'm like, hats off to her because she was annoying. I wanted her dead. I mean, I switched to make sure she was countered. That shows you how much she was a good diva. I'm still a little congested. Oh. Thank goodness the microphone has a cover on it. But I'm just a bit congested still. I might take another, not Mucinex, but I'm taking amoxicillin to help clear it out some, and I might take another one. I haven't had one in a while, and it worked well, and I seem to be getting better. To answer your queries, though, it's going okay at my new job. I'll be honest, they didn't train me for this job. They trained me for how to do the perfect part of my job, which comes up once in a while. Kind of like how that one company that starts with a B. I just saw Yoda in the corner. Oh, that's my Lego Yoda. You like him?
Yoda, he's in the corner. Learning he must do.
I got my Seinfeld set up top. Let me see if I can show you. Up there on that shelf. Beneath the Mickey ears is the Seinfeld I just created. So I've got beside that is the Lego BB-8, and of course the gauntlet for Thanos. And then the Stormtrooper and the Boba Fett helmet are down below it. Now over there, behind my easel, I don't think you can see very well, is my Overwatch shelves. I have 1, 2, 3. I have a Diva that Brantley gave me. A Symmetra I think Taylor gave me. I have a Tracer, 2 Reapers, because I actually got duplicates of the Reaper. And a Reinhardt, which you can't see very well. And then I've got a Lego set of Soldier 76 and McCree and Reaper on Dorado. I got this cutest May figurine. I have to show you my May figurine. Hold on a second. Let me go get it. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. The Lego I want to see that. Okay, I'll show you the cart because the other part of it's kind of hidden. But look at this May figure, guys. Look at this May. I'm gonna pull it down. Back to the painting here. This is the May figurine. Kind of hard to see in this light, sorry. But that it looks like it's basically this one right here. But that's her in the case. If it will zoom in. Love your shirt, right? I know. She's adorable. May is really precious. The thing is, she's the most annoying character to face, but she's canonically the sweetest character in the game. To me, my favorite character will always be Lucio, because Lucio always has that optimism, like, oh, let's get it going. Like, he's always so happy and chipper. My second favorite's Winston, because he's so much, I love Winston's like, let's go do this. He's always so jovial. I love that. And May is also so much, like, I think it's interesting, like, here's Diva, right? She's like a world famous pop star. She's been in movies. She's a world famous streamer. And Diva's like, May, I love your journals. A nerdy, quiet scientist. And and here's flashy, world famous Diva saying, I love reading your journals. It's so sweet to see that, like, someone like May talking about her world adventures captures the attention of a world famous person. And it's kind of cool because it reminds you that everybody else is famous to everybody else. You're not famous to yourself. I can't stand Winston. He drives me crazy. The character or the gameplay? The gameplay, I would imagine. Because he's a very annoying gnat to face. I love him as a character. As an enemy to have to face, he's a pain in the butt if you got a good one against you. Gameplay, right. Yeah, because I think Winston, the character, if you've ever seen the shorts with him, he's always like, oh, having fun, guys? And you're like, oh, he's like that fun uncle you always wish you had, you know? But as a gameplay element, like May facing May when she freezes you is so annoying. But May, the character, is just delightful. Let me show you the Lego set real quick. It's getting a little dusty here. Move the payload. Okay. This one is based off of it's Dorado, so it's the truck you have to move that has the power cell in the back. So it has wheels in the bottom, so it floats, but it's got the little floating car pads. I don't know if you can see the little floating car pads here. So there's McCree in there, in the car. Whoops, sorry. In the car, there's McCree. There's Soldier 76 with his big gun. And you got the truck, the payload. This is the one you marked in the Mexican one. And see, this part actually, the power cell actually detaches, as it should, because this is supposed to go in the Dorado Power plant. So that part would be actually detached and go into the power plant. And it has, the set comes with this, Soldier 76 and McCree, and the Reaper. It actually has the overpass, the overpass of Dorado. So it has one of the fruit stand boxes, and you know that first archway you go under before you go to the piñatas and everything in the town square? It has that archway. So you basically have the payload, which you escort, and then the I guess those are decals I put on. And then it has the like I said, the truck. It's the truck. And it's a nice high. I want to pick of that. I actually took a pic of it up close with my camera and I used the Dorado thing in the background. I'll have to make a better picture of it. I want to photograph my Legos a little bit better. But the cool thing is, because the way well, I just took off the front. There's McCree. It's high noon. Where's McCree? There he is. Please send. I forgot where it was. I think I put it on Twitter. I'll have to look for it. It's probably buried on my Twitter account somewhere. I got bored one day and I was working at Shirt Place. Look at this. It's even got one of the little heal up grenades from Soldier. When he puts them down, he goes, heal up. And he puts that down. That's what it is. It's a little heal up grenade. It's called a biotic grenade. Send it on Instagram. I don't think I've got it on Instagram, girly. I wonder if it's still on my phone. It might have been on my old phone. Might have been on my old phone. I think it's just social or links. Try links. Try social or links. It's just Jason Eno, sorry. I think it's just social. How are you, Nos? Should be that. There you go. It's just my name. Only thing that's different is Facebook, because it was stupid and I had to do Jason Eno's comic art, because apparently there's another Jason Eno's art somewhere. Not like me, though. Alright, let me put this up so we can get back to painting. Oh, that's right. You told me about the con job. We were all like, con job? Who are you trying to con? And it's just like, no, I'm working at a convention. Oh, that got less interesting all of a sudden. Never mind. We're over here thinking you're doing this thing. We're getting the entertainer queued up. And she's like, nah, I'm just working at a convention. And we're like, wah, wah, wah. Well, wah, 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 wah. And we're like, nah, that's boring now. Never mind. We thought you were going to rob somebody. I'm just kidding. It's still exciting. I got a packet, I think, from the con I'm supposed to be doing in early October. They don't usually send their packets out early, and they sent a packet out early. I was like, what the French toast? So I meant to look at it. Also, I have another con that was filed on socials. Thanks. I could probably do that kind of con job too. You probably know loopholes and stuff. Guys, I had the saddest story that happened to me. I will talk generalities because it's kind of sad. Someone that didn't want to listen to me and got in a shouting match with me. And I'm sad they got in a shouting match with me because I didn't mean to get in a shouting match, but it was one of those things I called the bluff, and they were like, I don't appreciate you talking over me. I was. And honestly, I think that conversation would have got me fired at my old job. You would know this, Sarah. Yeah, I'm a con artist. But I think it would have got me fired at my old job. I'm almost sure it would have got fired at my old job because I was talking at the top of them. I didn't curse her out. I didn't yell at her. I just said, ma'am, I'm telling you right now that what you're saying is incorrect. And it would have got me fired for being stern in talking over her. But I talked to my coworkers and like, no, that wouldn't get you fired here. First of all, they'll never listen to that phone call. Even if they do, you probably won't be in trouble. You try to take control of the phone call, you're being assertive. She believed that the government will pay for her, and the government's not going to pay for her. And I'm telling her, I was trying to tell her before she made a fool of herself that the government won't pay for her. But she wouldn't listen to me. So it is what it is. I guess, some people, it reminds me, there's a quote in the Bible. It's like, some people you educate, some people you turn over to the devil, let him do his work. It's like, I feel like this one, she needs to go to the school of the wilderness and learn. Because I tried to educate her, and she didn't want to listen to it. When I challenged her beliefs, she didn't like it. I was like, the government's not going to pay for this. Yes, they will. I'm like, no, they won't. I'm telling you that right now. I have 7 years experience. They're not going to pay for that. And it doesn't work like you think it's going to work. This conversation is going nowhere. Goodbye. Click. Okay, well. And I told that same story to all my people that I work with, including people that, even clients on my end, the people I send them to. I could be a con artist. If you saw my rainbow resume, I probably would be. I told people, it's like, yeah, she thinks the government's going to pay for this. I had so many people crying out with laughter. It's not even funny. Guys, I'm so happy, by the way. Nos, I want to show you something. Yeah, School of the Wilderness. I mean, that's where you learn a lot of crap when you're by yourself. She's going to have to learn the hard way. I found these paints, guys. I lost these, and I found them. I was at work here in this very room on the other side of that desk, and I looked, I'm like, my paint! I've been looking at this ultramarine, cadmium orange. I'm like, I've literally been looking for these colors. Well, then. And believe me, nobody was more excited than me. It was like Christmas. I'd found paint I didn't even know I owned anymore. I'd written it up as lost and gone forever. Marlene was like, you have containers full of it. No, I don't. Turns out she was right. She was right all along. It's peachy. It is peachy. It is peachy. It's going, oh, no, current light. Yep. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit more burgundy, but it is, the highlights are peachy. Just peachy. Let's go back to the highlights. Yeah, they're a lot duller than you'd think. There we go. I love working from home. Me too. I love working from home. Is there any other way to work? I wouldn't know. Is there another way to work? I wouldn't know. Not at this point, I wouldn't. It's actually much darker than this, believe it or not, but I'm gonna go with this for right now. Oops. Plus, I do currently work for the government. I gotta get someone who shut the F up. I got a real job at the State of the Week. They do not own money for refusal to answer questions. Right. Well, like, okay, so long story short, I work for people to help them find, like, senior housing and stuff. And one of the biggest misses is that the government will pay for it. And it's not true. It's simply not true. The government will not pay for everything. Right? So I try to educate people, but they don't want to listen. 44K is what they have to pay back. Oh, gosh. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the government's not going to give you stuff if you've got assets to use. Okay, I did take Benadryl. Okay. I love working from home. I took Benadryl. Not sure how much longer I can last. That's okay. I took a sip of NyQuil after work to try to get better from my congestion. And it put me, like, within 2 hours, like, I was out. I fell asleep at, like, 7:30, and I didn't wake up till 7:30 the next day. I slept for 12 hours with one sip of NyQuil. Plus, I currently do work for the government. Jason, I got okay, yeah. Right. Yeah. One hit of NyQuil, and I was like, this one NyQuil type, it was just like, oof, I was gone. Unless you're talking about NOS, but NOS does some incredible things for the government. Like, I applaud what she does. She does a lot of investigations and gets people money that needs money and gets people away from money that don't need to have that money. And Nos is a very hard-working person, and she has my deepest respects. She really does. Nos always has my deepest respects. You always have my deepest respects, because you do some tough work and very thankless work for the most part. I have a difficult job because I literally affect people's lives. Exactly. That's why I wouldn't want to work. I was offered many times to work in a bank call center, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, why not? It's good work. I'm like, I'm not messing with people's money. Dang it. People turn into funny creatures when you play with their money. It says I have $30,000 in my account. It also tells me you don't have a dime. So people turn into funny things when you tell them you don't have money. I ain't playing with that game. We done. So even though it pays good, and even though I have a ton of people I know over there, I would not touch a bank job. That in itself sounds like a con game. I wouldn't touch a bank job. That makes it pop a little bit better. I've been trying to get out of it as a simple, even though I'm really good at this job. You are really good at it. I know you are. Part of it making this lips pop is making the darker parts darker than I thought. It makes the sparkles pop out more when I do that. I thought it was dark enough. It's like, no, it's clearly not dark enough. When I did a quick color test, I was like, nope, it's not. And that's what makes the sparkles pop out more, is because it's a lot darker than I anticipated. it's almost 11 o'clock. Wow, I didn't even know. Yeah, if I put a little bit of that color in like lighter colors, it kind of helps out a little bit. Guys, lay down. They're prancing and dancing. Heard my puppy dogs dancing and prancing. It's kind of weird and it's kind of annoying. It's hard to believe. Lots of. This week I worked 40. Oh gosh, I missed so much of NASA's story. Chica, let me back up. I've been trying to get out of it. I want simple again, even though it's good at this job. This week I worked 45 hours at my day job, and Sunday I will have worked almost 70 hours for the convention. They may need you to stay if you're good. Wow, that sounds crazy. Too many hours. You need to live. Lots overlapped. That's a lot of hours, though. Okay, wow. I was gonna say, please. You don't want to be, like I said, if you're able to do both jobs at once, that's one thing. My job is very demanding on my time. Like, if I want to be able to keep good at my job, I pretty much have to focus on nothing but doing my job. Although I can take long, extended breaks as long as I keep up my work, but, only for a short period of time. Like, I have to keep performance up. Don't know it's contagious. I know, it's catching. Tucker, hush mouth. Mouth, M-O-U-F. It's a legitimate term. But anyway, like my job, I can take a break, but if I do that, if I take it too long, it's going to be detriment to my actual performance. So I know this, so I got to be careful about how I take my breaks. But I can take a break. I can go get water. I can go to the bathroom. I don't have to worry about with my old job where it would be like, oh, you can't take a break. You're on the phones now. You can't take a break. You meaningless urchin. Get back to the phones, you slob. Like that would be my old job. Sarah can relate to this. She would know. You have to pee? Ha! Hold it until it's your break in 2 hours. Good luck with that, sir. Now, that's kind of the way our old job was. I think I need to go and get some sleep. Go get some sleep, Porthos. Go get you some of that rest. That mythical rest. Yes, I can and still can. I know. Our old jobs, you couldn't, like I said, it was like everything you did was policed. You couldn't so much as put your foot down without it being in the wrong place and be in trouble. It was ridiculous. Oh, Sarah, quick thing, before you go. A lot of folks got raises at where? And I think that's because of me. Because they asked me in my exit survey, why, what's one of the things you'd improve if you could? I said salaries. I literally typed out, you joke with yourself. I was pushing paperwork most of the day in 3 days and lots of the front. I had to investigate. Yeah, I do a lot of investigation in my work, which I kind of like. So yeah, Sarah. So anyway, I was like, I told in my exit survey, I put in literally these words. I said, you think you're competitive. But the thing is, I've worked for RealPage for 17 years. Sorry. I worked for a company for 11 years. And the best you could do is pay 17. I'm walking into a job right now, similar, entry level, and I'm making 22. Stop kidding with yourself and saying you're competitive in your rates. Now I get word from my old coworkers that are still there. Oh, we got raises of different parts to stay competitive. And I'm like, literally the word stay competitive? Yeah, they said it was to stay competitive. I was like, see? I said, you're welcome for the raises. What do you mean? I said, literally, that's what I put in my surveys, that they're not competitive. So I got my folks raises. When you leave the company, you got to do the exit survey. Because they'll go, if he left because of that, how many people are leaving? Right? Isn't it? So people are like, oh my, okay, here's another thing. You know that manager that you're not crazy about? You know Greg? They're swapping places. He's having to go to marketing. And this makes me deeply sad because he has no experience in it. And the person that has experience is they're moving that person to senior. And they're basically kicking one person out to put another person in. A lot of people told me they never asked for the exit survey. They never got the exit survey. So basically, they kicked Greg out of his position to put you-know-who in its place. And to be honest, I was like, that's dark, that's dirty. I hate that. I hate everything about that. I'm sure I know who it is. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why did they kick out a person that had experience in that department to replace him with somebody that had no experience with those people? That makes me upset. And I'm like, and here's the thing. All the employees, they're still in marketing. So I'm like, so you got to get out of it. You're out of marketing. But your people are still stuck in marketing? How is that fair? But yeah, she got to get out. And all of her people got left behind. And the thing is, she got out where there was no opening. Like, they made the opening by kicking out the incumbent person out. And that is so unfair. I'd like to know who they're blackmailing. That was the thought that crossed my mind. To have such pull. I know, exactly. I'm like, how the heck does somebody that... I said, they did him dirty. And my friends are like, yep, they did Greg dirty. I'm like, they did. They did. Here's a man who had tenured position. He lost all of that tenured position because somebody else didn't want to be in marketing. I'm like, well, I didn't want to be in marketing too. Does that mean they get to kick everybody off the senior team and put me on it instead? Oh, that's right. They don't, because I don't get that kind of pull. Yeah, I'm glad I left that place. I didn't leave it a moment too soon. Didn't leave it. Yep. Didn't leave a moment too soon, guys. So yeah, long story short, Nos, my old job, they kicked out a manager out of his position so that my old manager could have his position, even though he'd been in that position for years and she wasn't in that position. All because she'd had a similar position and lost it at the company. And I'm like, how is that fair to him? He's held that position for how many years? And I know him. I know what I'm posting photos of the journal. I had a friend made it. Oh, yeah, please do. So my whole thought is, we both know Greg. He's going to be like, well, this is going to be what I'm going to need to do. I'm just going to have to learn how to be better at this and do my job and do my best job I can do. And I'm like, Greg, you don't need to make a pile of crap out of, you don't need to take a pile of crap and make the Washington Monument out of it. This is still a pile of crap. Poopy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did him raw. And he'll never admit to it because he's too nice of a guy, but they did him raw. Can I post the links? Oh, yeah, do it. Links are free. Only two things I ask. Don't post not safe for work, and don't spam links. But I know you're not going to do either of those. That's my only two rules. Honestly, I think this is about done. I think I could sit here and pick this all day, and I think I might. But I don't think I will actually do that. I think I might just let my eyes rest on it, but I think I'm about done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could really pick this apart till I'm tired of looking at it, and I'm not going to do that. bunch of dancing and prancing. It makes me annoyed. My doggies know what's up. It's not their time yet. You're getting off and I'm rating someone. Yep, I am. Yep, I'm going to right now, I think. I think right now it's at the point where I'm just going to be just nitpicking it. And I might just need to let it sit for a couple days, look at it and say, oh, that's good. Or, oh, I need to work on this or whatever. And I'm just making it too much. And it's like, what, 11 o'clock? Yeah, it's time for me to get off. My dog's been prancing around for the last 30 minutes. They don't need to go out to the bathroom, but they feel like, we should go out now. It's time. I'm like, no, it's not time, but we can make it time. They don't really need to go out. They've been out in plenty of time. It's just they feel like it's their time soon. The natives are getting restless. Sorry, it's kind of an old cliche. I don't know who she is. Amazing. My friend made them all for me, but lots of books ordered them with laser burn and all the designs. I was wondering if that with laser burn looks good. Your friend did a good job. You need to look at Discord photos after stream. No, can I look at them now? After I get my painting in more of an order? There we go. No, so I don't know if you know this. My drawing didn't win anything at the contest. Yeah, I know. I'm starting picking. My drawing didn't win anything at the art contest. I've been waiting for months to hear about. They were like, the announcement was today, and it didn't win anything. Kind of bummed about that. Let me go ahead and back this off, take a picture, so we can raid. It's amazing how sparkly the lips look. And then it's like, it looks like a white, but it's not really a white at all. Let's post this on Twitter and get started, huh? It's okay. The drawing was amazing, and if that's all that matters, it took courage to even submit a drawing, and I'm proud of you. Well, thank you. You make me feel a little bit better. What am I doing here, JJ? What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out. Oh, post on Twitter. I do have to do the edges, though. Now that I look at it, I got to do the sides. The edges are nothing, though. Follow. This can bottle. What's this about? That's 7 likes, okay. I think it's about done. Post the photo. I wonder if Emma Stone has a Twitter. Some of these celebrities don't have Twitters, but they do have like they do have, even if they have one, they don't let you link to them. You know what I mean? She won't link there. Cruella has one. Cruella. Not Cryo. Cruella. Movie. I'm going to put hashtag Emma Stone. I don't know if it works with Twitter. Emma Stone. Hashtag Cruella. There we go. Find where I'm at here. Over here. Profile. Here we go. Make sure it took up. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go. Turn it low, won't hear much. I'm falling asleep. I'll keep you in raid. Okay, good. I'm gonna figure out who I'm gonna raid first of all. I mean, I have probably targets, but let's see what I can find. It's Friday night, so who knows what Friday night will hold. Let's see what I can... Babros. Nagasaki. She's arting. Might go raid Nagi. There's kittens and pretty. Some graphite. Go on Post Freak Meister. Live Kitty. Dorky Downs. Oh, I'd go raid Dorky, but she's playing Life is Strange. Just good photos. Oh, right. Sorry, crafting canvas, silk painting. Let's go raid her. Crafted canvas. She's super awesome. Also draws attention to the fact she doesn't exist. I haven't seen her in my stream lately, I should say. Like, hey, have you been in my stream lately? No, I'm just kidding. Discord photos. You put them in the group? General. Or doesn't share your art? Peg leg, he's cool. Share your art. Awesome. Ooh. That closure, though. The intricate work on that is gorgeous. That is just... It looks like something else. It just looks like something else. Like, it looks like some ancient book that you'd find. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like it should be like something you'd see in an Indiana Jones movie. You know? You know what I mean? It's cool. Let's go raid Crafting Canvas. She isn't, but she's guys. When Crafting Canvas gets a raid, she always plays her recorder, her bass recorder that she bought. No, she didn't buy it. She wanted it for a birthday present, a Christmas present. So her husband bought her a bass recorder. Now, if you don't know what a bass recorder is, it's the music. It's the instrument that makes the woo 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 at the beginning of the Mandalorian theme. So she's a huge Baby Yoda fan. So she loves the Mandalorian. She loves. Ooh, who's this guy? I have to follow him. This guy looks cool. He's doing some beautiful art. I'm going to have to follow him in a minute. Let me mute this. I don't think I follow this guy. There are 3 levels of pain. Pain, excruciating pain, and stepping on a Lego. His art looks incredible. That's why I've got to follow him. I already follow him. Never mind. Let's go to... I'm going to go here. Because I want to get Crafting Canvas queued up so I can actually hear her when I raid her. And then we're gonna raid her. It's crazy because I have to get 2 things set up. Actually, I can get Crafting Canvas set up here, so I don't really need to worry about that part of it. But it takes forever to load anything, man. I do Naggy, but sometimes she can get a bit spicy. I like Naggy a bunch, but sometimes she can curse a lot. And her conversation gets rather adult. And I don't mind it, but we're about to wind down, so I think for a wind down, I watch Naggy a lot, and I'm not trying to rag on her at all. I'm just saying sometimes when it's 11 o'clock at night, I don't want to take my people, because she is on Seattle time. So for her, it's what? 8 o'clock? So she's just getting started for the night. So I don't want to take people to the end and like, hey, everybody, how's it going? Yes, my loves. And like, whoa, calm down. But again, given her time of day, it makes sense. I'm not ragging on her, because she's been a rather consistent friend, contact, Twitch person that I've been in contact with. So no hate on her at all. Crafting Canvas. She's amazing. She only has 5 viewers, too. She's doing silk painting. But I can't wait for her to go, woo, 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 woo. She'll do it. Let's go raid Crafting Canvas. Guys, I love you. I'll be back Tuesday. I don't know what I'm doing. This is probably done, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I might repaint that. The background, I'm not crazy about the background, so I might smooth out the background, but I don't know if that's an on-stream project. To hold all of my witchy illusions and sounds. It looks like that kind of a book. To hold all those secrets. Let me get Crafting Canvas queued up. So I was going to raid Dorky Dino, but she's playing Life is Strange. It's a good game, but I don't know. I like raiding art streamers when they're doing art. I'm a snob. Love you guys. I'll be back Tuesday, regular time, 9 p.m. doing, I don't know what. I thought about doing like something about Jessica Alba, because it dawned on me that Jessica Alba is one of my favorite models, and she's not my favorite actress because she's not a great actress, but I love her her work as a model. She's the same age as me, and I'm like, she looks incredible for 40. And she's always been one of my muses, so I'm like, maybe I'll do something with Jessica Alba. I haven't done a portrait of her in like so long. I used to draw her a lot, and now I don't anymore. So I thought it might be fun to do that. Anyway, it's something that's in my brain. Oh, I might do a silk drawing. My friend, never mind. We'll talk on Tuesday. This is me delaying the stream, guys. I love you. I will see you soon.